Purpose of this brief presentation is to provide you with a little context in terms of completing your understanding behavior guided practice worksheet for Module 2. All right, let's look briefly at positive and negative reinforcement and punishment. The big idea here is that an action, I either give or take, will result in a change in behavior, and that behavior will either increase or decrease. If I give or take and it results in an increase in behavior, it's reinforcement. If I give or take and it results in a decrease in behavior, it's punishment. Okay, so keep this in mind as we look at a couple examples. When the hallway supervisor catches Tom running in the hallway, she stops him and tells him, "No running. If I catch you again, you're going to be in trouble." Tom's behavior is explained by what? So think in terms, is this negative or positive punishment, reinforcement, or is more information needed? More information is needed in this situation because we don't know whether or not the behavior increases or decreases as a result of the teacher's statement, "No running. If I catch you again, you're going to be in trouble." Here's another example. When Toby volunteers to answer a question in class, other students make fun of him, fun of his stuttering. Now Toby is less likely to volunteer to answer questions. Is it punishment, reinforcement, or do we need more information? In this situation, it is positive punishment. The students attend to Toby. They make fun of his stuttering, and it results in his increasing the likelihood that he's not going to volunteer to answer questions in class. Positive punishment. It decreases his behavior. Barry skips class, is assigned 6 hours of community service. The next week he skips more classes. Is this reinforcement, punishment, or is more information needed? In this situation, we're discussing positive reinforcement. Giving him community service results in an increase in skipping behavior. So, give, increase, positive reinforcement. Sally's learned that if she whines, her mother gives in. Sometimes she has to do this for 15 minutes, but it works. Sally's behavior and mother's behavior are defined by what? Is it positive or negative reinforcement or punishment? Or do we need to know more? In this situation, Sally's whining results in mom giving her what she wants. It increases the likelihood she'll whine in the future to obtain what she wants. When mom complies with Sally's request, she quiets down, takes away the whining, which negatively reinforces mom. On your worksheet that you'll complete for Module 2, this is what I'm asking you to do. Define if it's positive or negative reinforcement or punishment, and provide a rationale for your answer. Let's briefly talk about dimensions of behavior, topography, frequency, intensity, latency, duration. Simply put, topography is the shape of the behavior, what I see, smell, can touch. Frequency is the rate, intensity is force, latency is the time before starting, duration is the amount of time. Here's a scenario about Daniel. When we look at this scenario, we know that sucking his thumb and hands in pants is the topography. In terms of frequency, we know that it will happen 3 to 4 times per day from the information provided. We do not have any information related to intensity, nor do we have information related to latency, but we do in terms of duration. The transition or teacher's request will result in his stopping this behavior. All behavior is either positively or negatively reinforced. So if we think about problem behaviors, students engage in that behavior either to obtain or to escape. They want to obtain some kind of sensory stimulation, attention from adult or peers, or an object, or access to an activity. So when we look at behavior, we want to think about what is the function of that behavior. And it's going to either be positively or negatively reinforced, and that will result in the likelihood of it either increasing or decreasing over time. Here's a scenario for Leroy. Okay, he's on the playground and he throws himself to the ground in order to obtain access for more minutes at recess. It's more likely to occur on sunny days. If I think about the setting event, warm and sunny, the antecedent is that he's asked to line up and go in recess. His behavior is to throw himself to the ground. And the consequence for doing this is 5 more minutes of resource. If I think about what the possible function is, it is positive reinforcement, the access to more recess time. Teresa, when asked to take her seat and begin work, throws her book and pencil and is sent to the office. This happens more often on days when she does not have breakfast. So, response or behavior, throws book and pencil. When she's asked to take her seat and start working. More likely to occur when she's had no breakfast and she's sent to the office. If we think about what the function of this behavior is, it's negative reinforcement. By engaging in this behavior and being sent to the office, Teresa is able to escape an aversive, which is beginning her work. Defining behavior. We want to use operational definitions to describe the dimensions of the behavior, what we observe and can measure. Be careful that you use words that are clearly observable and that we don't have to make inferences or draw conclusions about. Ways of observing are through sight, sound, taste, smell, actually being able to see and describe the specific behavior. Running. A worksheet with 6 out of 7 problems completed correctly. Those are all things that I can observe. I can see them. I can measure them. Here's another form and way of looking at this in terms of observable and non-observable. Disruptive behavior can be interpreted in many ways. However, talks when teacher is lecturing is observable. Calling out in a loud voice is observable. Singing is observable. Okay, I don't have to infer what that might look like because I've stated it in terms of what I can actually see and measure. Yells no or you can't make me when given directions is a much clearer definition than defiance. It leaves no inferences to be made in this situation. Ask yourself when you write your definitions for your Guided practice activity. Is it clear enough that a person unfamiliar with a student could recognize the behavior without any doubt? If both of us were to look at the student and the way you have defined the behavior, would we both be able to identify it and in a reliable way? So both of us would see the same thing and label it in the same way. Your task is to complete the worksheet. An answer key will be provided after the closing date for the assignment. Please contact either Tracy Ralston or Trish Berg if you need assistance or have questions on how to do it. Also, check with your peers that are in the class. They may be helpful in terms of helping you in terms of discussing and coming up with the correct answers. Thank you for your attention.